Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is the chart for the solar total eclipse, and it's set for the UK. It's 2nd of July 2019 at 2016 British Summer Time. And it is a total solar eclipse. Sometimes they are just partial. Way back in January that was the case on the 6th. The Sun and Moon are in the sign of Cancer. Now Cancer is a very sensitive sign. It's a water sign, along with the other water signs of Scorpio and Pisces. And it's a total eclipse because the North Node and Sun and Moon are very close together, if you see here. Because the Moon, every year we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Cancer, it's an especially delicate time of year for emotions. The Moon is represented as our feelings and emotions, and we can feel overwhelmed very easily at an eclipse. It's a time when the sun temporarily disappears, and this eclipse will be viewable, but only from some parts of Chile and Argentina. The rest it goes across the sea. If you've ever seen a total solar eclipse, it is quite an extraordinary sight. But it's also a very spiritual time. The nodes of the moon, when they arrive and catch up with sun and moon, create a darkness, a shadow over the earth herself. And that shadow is being asked for all of us to look at. Now, of importance, Mars has just changed sign. It's now in Leo. Mars is the warrior planet, and in Leo it's strong. It's roughly been 6 weeks since it's moved through the sign of Cancer, and that is where it's very weak. And men behaving badly is an expression I often use for that. And notice Mercury is also now in Leo, and Venus is in Gemini. But Venus is about to change sign into Cancer, and that is occurring only, this week on Wednesday the 3rd. Mercury is also going to go retrograde. Now, this happens 3 times a year, and this year Mercury is retrograding through the water signs. It's of course starting off in the sign of Leo, and then it will go backwards and move back into Cancer on the 19th of July. And it will re-enter Leo on the 11th of August. So it's basically going to be retrograde all of July, coming on this weekend. Basically it's the 8th, early wee hours of the 8th of July. Now, with Mercury retrograding in Cancer and the solar eclipse in Cancer, and we will get a partial lunar eclipse at the full moon, is about looking back in time, memories. This eclipse degree was last activated in the year 2000 on July the 1st, 10 degrees of Cancer. So you might want to remember memories of that time in your life. Also, looking through photographs, old family photographs, could be a very good thing to be doing at this time. Seeing our family in a different light, as an adult rather than as a child or a teenager or a young woman or man, and joining by looking at that photograph through new eyes. I've done this myself, and it was a very powerful experience for me. I chose a photograph of my mother and father, and as I looked at them, I played some very emotional kind of music, and I remembered how my father could wiggle his ears. And I remember how my mother could be quite playful and flirty. It was a really lovely experience, so I'm recommending that maybe you would like to try that yourself. Of course, a photograph is a moment of time, and a moment of time that was captured, and so now it's time to remember. Venus moving into that sign of Cancer is increasing the feelings, emotions of this month. We have a very good alignment at this time with Neptune in Pisces, a fellow water sign. You see that blue line, and that is building That will occur in about 8 days, 7 to 8 days' time. And Neptune, albeit now I've watched The Planets by Professor Brian Cox, is a very extraordinary planet and full of storms, but also Neptune can take us through a web, a different transparent energy into the angelic realm, the fairy realm, and that can be done through the art, the filmmaker. When we suspend our belief in where we are, we're sitting in a cinema or at home, and suddenly we go somewhere else in time. We're captured, our imagination, we're free from the constraints. And that is dream time. So I would encourage you this month, especially, to keep a journal, a diary. It's a very Cancerian thing to do. And also to be aware of your dreams. So when you wake in the morning, hopefully you'll have a few moments to recollect what you dreamt of. It can be quite prophetic, especially a dream just before you wake up. It can often be deemed a dream of the future. Also, the people that you might be dreaming about at this time. Chiron is going to go retrograde. All planets apart from the Sun and Moon go retrograde. So Chiron is going retrograde, and if you notice, it's in Aries, fire sign, and it's in a good relationship at this time with Mercury and Mars in another fire sign. So that is also about healing the qualities of Aries, the leadership gifts that we have in Aries, and also the heart energy that we have in Leo. When we're guided by our hearts rather than the intellect, if you like, the analytical part of us, it's always important to remember what's in your heart. I won't say much more about Jupiter. It's retrograde still because it is in a tense relationship to Neptune. That's an ongoing transit. But also, I want you to contemplate family, home, heart, what that means for you. Thank you for watching. I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com.